Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new video for you all today. So today I bring you guys an Iron Man related loot video. This is going to be loot from 3,000 Pyrefiends. With a very similar drop table to the Harpy bug swarms, I gotta be honest with you guys, the highlight of this video is pretty much the medium clue scrolls, so if you want to check out the pinned comment or the description below, it will redirect you to the price check. Of course, I would love if you watch the whole thing, but if you don't want to waste your time on similar drops as seen in the Harpy bug swarms, then feel free to check that out. But with all that being said, as usual, all the kills for this video were tracked on the Slayer ring log 0 to 3,000, and all these Pyrefiends were killed in the Relica Slayer dungeon. Released into the game January 26, 2005, and at a combat level of 43, the attack style of these Pyrefiends is magical melee, so you're always going to want to be wearing D-hide or something similar, something that absorbs magic attacks very well, and if you do this, then you really won't be getting hit too often. However, I was bringing a few lobsters every single inventory, and of course occasionally I'd bring a superset if I wanted to increase my kills per hour. And even though they do have a magic based attack, believe it or not, if you don't want to get hit at all by these Pyrefiends, you do pray from melee. You don't actually protect from magic, so that is something to keep in mind. And early on, you can kind of see the drops are very similar from the last Iron Man video, already seeing the alchable steel full helms as well as the steel axes. Just like the Harpies, I did collect all of the gold ore, mithril chain bodies, steel boots, staff of fires, and adamant med helms. You can also expect the stackable runes to be chaos runes, death, and fire. Obviously you're going to get a lot of fire runes since these are a fiery monster. And a ring of wealth is recommended here because the coin drops on top of all the alks will make it worthwhile to bring. So if you are a lower level, definitely bring one with you. You'll make a little bit of extra money if you're doing this Slayer task. And requiring 30 Slayer to kill, it's definitely a lower level Slayer task. You don't really see too many level 100s here. I think I was the only level 120 throughout the whole video. The only other people that I saw were usually always below level 70. And if you gotta think, if I'm level 120 and they do hit me occasionally with a max hit of 4, then if you're much lower level, then you'll probably need a lot more food. Here we have the very first medium clue of the video, 132 KC for that, which makes sense. The drop rate is 1 in 128. Now, if you do actually kill the Pyrefiends in the God Wars dungeon in the wilderness, then, using a Ring of Wealth imbued, of course, that drop rate goes down to 1 in 64, but in all honesty, I don't think people kill their Slayer task of Pyrefiends in the wild. I really think that's kind of dedicated to ecumenical keys, so you probably won't see too many people doing that. And speaking of nice drops, here we have one of the rarest possible drops that you can get from a Pyrefiend, that being the Dragon Spear. According to the wiki, the Dragon Spear without a Ring of Wealth is 1 in 233,000, and with a Ring of Wealth, I believe it's 1 in 13,800. Either way, that is incredible to see. Certainly didn't need another one, but I will add it to the collection. Another spear coming in. This time it is Rune instead of Dragon. This is 1 in 87,000 without the Ring of Wealth and 5,200 with the Ring of Wealth. So, starting to see a trend with these loot videos. The more that you wear a Ring of Wealth, the more that you're going to hit these drops. But the thing is, even with it on, the odds are so high, but it really doesn't seem to matter because in all these videos, we always seem to be getting spears, shield left halves. I mean, we're going to have a pretty big collection by the end of this year, I think. And we also did manage to get a Chaos Talisman from these Pyrefiends. That's only 1 in 900, so not a big deal, not really useful for this account or any account really. And while I was doing all of the medium clues, just like in the past 2 videos, I had to build a bunch of stash units. Just when you think you had them all built, I actually had to build another 3 this video, so gosh, I'd like to think by now I have all of the medium stash units built. I had to unfortunately get a pair of snakeskin chaps and boots from scratch, so that was kind of annoying, especially with no teleports. And I was killing all these Pyrefiends while I was on my main account, killing terror dogs. I'm not too sure which video I uploaded first. It's either going to be this one or the terror dogs, but it was great to do that because Pyrefiends, usually if I was using a whip with my setup, I would kill them in like 2 to 6 hits, so they are really quick to kill, but the thing is, they're not aggro, so you always have to manually click them every single time you want to kill them. But luckily on my other account, all the monsters I were killing were aggro to me, so in other words, one of my account was just standing idle getting things done, and then there was this account getting things done by constantly clicking. So Pyrefiends aren't the the greatest for relaxation, and certainly not the greatest for XP either. Honestly, they're not really that great for much. But you know what? They're okay. They're certainly better than Ice Fiends, you know, or... well, I would say they're better than Water Fiends too, but Water Fiends are actually pretty decent compared to these. They're much higher level, and we have done a loot video on them, but it wasn't seen by that many people. So if you want to check that out, it is in the link in the description below. It's only 1,000 though, it's not 3,000, because, you know, well, they just take a lot longer to kill. Here we are at the halfway point, and 1,500 kills into the video, we got just over 15,000 fire runes. So that's really nice, gonna really help the Trident in the future. And yet again, another Dragon Spear, 2,000 kills in, and yeah, very surprising. I really have the greatest RNG in all the wrong places on this account, but that's okay. I don't really do any PVMing on it anyway, so we'll keep up with the spears and the bones and all that. Anyways, before we get to the price check, it is important to note that if you guys are lower level and you are taking too much damage here, there is also a safe spot, so don't worry too much about, you know, face tanking them. It's not necessary. And there's also 4 total locations where you can kill Pyrefiends at. One of them is obviously the most common, which is the Fremennik Slayer dungeon, Fairy Ring AJR. You can also find them in the Smoke dungeon, the God Wars dungeon, and last but not least, the Sisterhood Sanctuary, which essentially those are stronger versions of the Pyrefiends, but the drops are virtually the same, just a little bit more, and the drop rate for the medium clues just a little bit less. So to be fair, I don't think I missed out on too much, but with all that being said, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Loot from 3,000 Pyrefiends in the Relica Slayer dungeon has been completed. Certainly wasn't the most enjoyable one, but that's okay. It's another monster off the list that we never have to kill again. So that's what always gets me through these videos. A lot of the time, it's just a one-time thing. Either way, the overall loot from 3,000 Pyrefiends, according to the price check, does come out to be 791k, rounding that up to 800k overall, just in the normal drops and the GP from all the AUX and the coin drops. Well, now we have 21 medium clues to open, so let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully we'll get another pair of Ranger boots or finish up some God books. We will see though. Last time we opened 25 medium clues at one time, I didn't get a single master, so hopefully we see some masters in this session, but I don't know, the Iron Man can only do so much. And there you go, the first master pretty early on, and let's see how far we can actually get with this one. You know, the first step, and I was in 52 wild with a guy Scold following me, so it's kind of starting off a little rocky, but he turned out to be a really nice guy, so shout out to him. Unfortunately though, the next step, third step of the master clue, I did have to drop it. I needed a Pharaoh's Scepter and full set of Menifite robes. I'm unfamiliar with how to get the robes, but the scepter could have taken years, you know, so I didn't want to pause this video just for that one step. That would have been ridiculous. Anyways, back to the medium clues. Got a lot of Addy items, some green d'hide pieces as well, usually just high alch, all of that stuff. Also found a stylish penguin mask, so that's cool. And after 142 medium clues, I finally got my very first Zamorak page, so I don't know where my RNG has been with that book, but it's now starting to show. And I would say one of the biggest highlights for this video is that we did actually manage to complete another book, which we did in the previous loot video as well. I think we finished the Gothics book in that one, and in this one we finished the Bandos book. I think this is good for strength bonus. I'm not too sure where I would use it, maybe getting ecumenical keys. Either way, it's nice to get things done like that and completed, especially when just doing something like killing Pyrefiends. But those medium clues can really come in handy, you know, especially all the teleports that you get on top of all the purple sweets. So far while opening these, we haven't seen anything that's too rare yet, other than the master clue, I suppose. But I'm still waiting for the day to see the duplicate Ranger boots. It's always nice to have a second pair. I don't think I would drop trade them or anything like that. But overall, here we are. All of the clue scrolls have been opened, 21 overall, and the loot that we got was just over 1 million. 800k from the Pyrefiends, 1 mil from the clue scrolls, as well as a Bandos book completed. I would say the kills per hour were roughly anywhere from 100 to 200. It really just depends on your combat level. The fact that I was getting so many clues meant that I was teleporting out so much, so it's really hard to kind of determine that. Either way, guys, I really do appreciate you watching it. I know this wasn't the most exciting one. I kind of say that a lot. But either way, as you can see, we are working on some newer videos for you guys this week, and hopefully you all will enjoy them as well. So with all that being said, thank you guys very much for watching the video, and if you ever want to join a clan chat in-game, feel free to check out Mr. No Sleep with no spaces or Mr. No Sleep with spaces. Got 2 thriving clan chats, and it would be nice to see you guys in there. Until next time, Mr. No Sleep,